Hello and welcome to the class. So today we are going to study National Curriculum Framework 2005, the important recommendations which have been given by NCF 2005, and what are the main important features which have mentioned the curricular and the non-curricular areas, and what are the recommendations on the basis of which the curriculum should be framed. So these are the basic learning objectives for today's class. And this document provides the framework for making syllabi, textbooks, and teaching practices within the school education programs in India. So this is very much important to know about what kind of framework. It was a very accepted and wide popular framework which was prepared in 2005. And after this, we have, we will be soon getting a new framework in 2021 or 22 regarding the curriculum changes which we have to bring according to our National Education Policy 2020. So it tried to bring changes in the face and spirit. So many things were, brought to change with the help of NCF 2005. It came into existence through various discussions after the formulation of various, committees, commissions. So its chairman was Professor Yashpal, who was also the former chairperson of UGC, or the University Grants Commission. And this NCF 2005 was assisted by 21 focus groups, and the report was prepared in 10 months. So the process of development of this NCF was initiated in November 2004. And now we will discuss about the methodology through which this NCF 2005 was prepared. So first of all, the analysis of existing curriculum was done. Whatever curriculum was running in India, in various schools, by running by various boards, it was analyzed that what changes we actually need to bring about through our NCF. Then various consultations and discussions went on with different kinds of commissions and committees, and different documents which have been prepared by these commissions and committees. Then educationists and planners were consulted regarding this, so that good points could be included while framing that. So administrators, principals, headmasters, teachers, parents, students, general public, all the stakeholders who are there, working for the education, who are associated with education industry, were consulted regarding the feedbacks to know what kind of changes can be brought about in the existing curriculum. So this is how this practice went on for a long period. Then only the NCF 2005 document was released. Now we will discuss about the development of NCF 2005. So the National Curriculum Framework begins with a quotation from one of Rabindranath Tagore's essays, Civilization and Progress, where the poet reminds us that generous joy and creative spirit are essential in childhood. So this was the basis which was taken while preparing, while developing the NCF 2005. So after much discussion, whether this is required, needed or not, it was passed in the Central Advisory Board of Education on September 2005. The National Education Policy emphasized on employing educational technology to enhance the quality of education. And NCF, on the other hand, addressed four issues: educational experience, educational purpose, assessment of the learner, and how the organization of the learning experience can be done. So while we can see the differences between the earlier NCF which were prepared and the present NCF 2005, so the previous NCFs were based on behaviorist psychology. The 2005 curriculum has its basis on constructivist theory. So in earlier NCFs, the basis was the behavior part, in which the changes in behavior need to be taken care of in the students of that time. And now the 2005 NCF wanted it to be based on constructivist theory. So the experiences should be constructed on the experience of the learning experience of the students. They should construct their knowledge on their own. They should not be dependent on any other person. So not only the overall development of the student now remained the focus, now they were need to be taught that how they can make progress by doing their work on their own, how they can self discover, how they can learn new things by doing that things. So constructivism was focused on this NCF 2005. There were position papers were submitted by 21 focus groups, which you can go through on NCERT website, where you can find out all the 21 focus groups, and you can find out that these groups were formed under various heads, and they tried to include and inculcate various kinds of things which were required for these topics, which were there to be covered under NCF 2005, whether it was regarding aims of education, systematic reforms which are required for curriculum change, teaching of languages, teaching of English, various curricular areas were covered like mathematics, science, social science, habitat and learning, how the living standard or the habitat, the rural urban areas give any emphasis on learning, art, music, dance, theater, on all kinds of subjects like this, heritage crafts, educational technology, work in education like SUPW or art and craft, health and physical education, early childhood education, problems of the SC or the ST tribe children, gender issues which need to be considered in the curriculum, education required for the special needs which children, education for peace, curriculum, syllabus and textbooks, teacher education, which is also a very important part of education system. There was a requirement to bring changes in teacher education training also, for curriculum renewal also, examination reforms to be brought. It was not to be based on the rote memorization. For like this, these kind of 21 focus groups were prepared, and on the basis of that, position paper was presented before the NCF 2005. So the focus groups were chaired by renowned scholars and practitioners, some of whom may also be members of the steering committee. And there were total 35 members in the steering committee. So other members of the focus group were drawn from NCERT faculty, school teachers, and representatives of non-government organizations. And the focus groups were expected to produce a research-based position paper that was based on facts that provide a solid foundation for the arguments which have been presented by the various experts. It provided a comprehensive review of existing knowledge, representing an awareness of the field reality, especially in the rural schools. The main objective of these position papers were to provide an accessible resource to curriculum designers and writers of textbooks and other material, including teacher handbooks, which need to be prepared, and which other commissions have also proposed that there must be some guidebooks for the teachers, so that they know that what kind of new things have been introduced and how they can handle that in their classrooms. Different stages of educations will be discussed separately to spell out the issues which were pertaining to an area of problem. So different stages like primary, pre-primary, secondary, senior secondary, all the stages have been covered by the NCF 2005. And this is how the focus groups also took care of that. The reports of various documents from various areas were taken, like national curriculum frameworks, which were earlier prepared in 1975, 1988, 2000 was considered. Then there was Secondary Education Commission, or it was known as the Mudaliar Commission, which came in 1952-53, and it gave various important points regarding the curriculum changes. Then there was the Kothari Commission, important National Education Commission, which was initiated in 1964 to 66. Then there were input documents from National Education Policy. which were proposed in 1968, 1986, and the Plan of Action or the Revised Policy in 1992. Then there was Chattopadhyay Commission for Higher Education in 1984. Then there was a report prepared by Professor Yash Pal earlier in 1993, which focused on the learning without burden. So National Curriculum Framework 2005 has already been, translated in 22 languages and has influenced the syllabi in various states of India. It gave the NCERT, prepared the NCF 2005. It gave a grant to each state to promote, NCF in the language of the state and to compare its current syllabus with the syllabus proposed, so that a plan for reforms could be made. Several states, participated in this challenge, and this exercise was carried out with the involvement of state councils for educational research, that is the SCERT, present in every state, and district institutes of education and training, or the DIET. So the basic spirit behind NCF 2005 were certain, ideas like constructivism, which believed in the ability of child that they can construct the knowledge on their own. They were free to learn and participate as and when they want to. Teacher was not only a guide or the leader in the class. Now he has become an autonomous facilitator who is going to facilitate knowledge at any point of time whenever the learner demands. So evaluation was not only a tool to find the strengths, rather weaknesses should also be found through the process of evaluation, so that all kind of weaknesses could be worked upon and they can be removed from the any kind of behavior which can be changed or reformed. So that can be done. Then there was quality, how quality can be initiated in our education system. Quantity regarding the admissions and enrollments, to increase enrollments in our schools, and the universalization of education to each and every student, which was very much proposed by the Right to Education later in 2009. Then the commitment to democratic values and ways, which were mentioned by our constitution and the preamble. So these were all the basic spirit which were considered while preparing the NCF 2005. So there were some basic observations which were done regarding the Indian schools, like they were inflexible and resistant to change. Many of the schools in India are still not flexible in bringing about any changes in their teaching methods, or bringing about making available the resources to the teachers, and they are very much resistant to the change. They don't want to change in their present methods. They only want to become the machine of the income machine, and it is working as the industries and not as the places to bring about changes in the behavior of the students. So it was thought that learning is isolated activity and it need not be associated with any kind of other activities, like any cultural activities or any co-curricular activities. So they only focuses right now also there are certain schools who only focuses on the learning part and on the content or the text completion of the syllabus part. It discouraged creative thinking, because when we are only preparing our students to secure good marks in examinations, so they didn't want any kind of activity to be carried out in schools, and they don't like the idea of developing creative thinking among the students. So they don't want their students to do anything other than their learning part, which is focused on the syllabus. So human capacity, there is humans can they have capacity to create more and more, innovate more and more if they are being given chance, and this was completely ignored by the schools. It pretends to make future, the schools pretends to make future of this students, but they ignore the present in which the future can be secured, a good future can be made. So there was lack of equity and quality while delivering of lessons, or quality in the academic staff or the teachers, or quality in paying salary or any kind of training to be given to the teachers. So there were various kinds of problems found while observing the Indian schools. Now, there were certain questions which were asked, what kind of things should we initiate, insert in our document. So, NCF 2005 addressed few questions like, what educational purposes should the school seek to achieve? What educational experiences can be provided that are likely to achieve these purposes? How can these educational experiences be meaningfully organized? How can we ensure that these educational purposes are indeed being accomplished? So these are the things which need to be taken care of. There should be answers for that, that how you will be able to, the schools will be able to prepare the learning environment in case if the NCF 2005 has been implemented, and how it can be done meaningfully. And if it is done meaningfully, then how we will measure that if the achievements have been done or not. So it is basically a document. NCF 2005 is a document which consisted of 5 chapters. So whole of the things were mentioned in the 5 chapters. And as we have discussed, it was translated in 22 languages. And it was released by MHRD earlier, which is now the Ministry of Education, under NCERT, the National Council of Educational Research and Training. These are the contents of NCF 2005, the perspective, the guiding principles, then the learning and knowledge part, then the curricular areas are covered, then recommendations regarding school and classroom, and then systemic reforms which need to be brought about in the evaluation or the examination part. So, as per the directions of the Human Resource Development Minister at that time, the NCERT took up the assignment of reviewing the NCF for school education in the light of the report of Learning Without Burden 1993, which was released. A National Steering Committee, as we have discussed, under the chairmanship of Professor Yash Pal, was formed with 21 national groups, focus groups. So the perspective, the five there, in which there were the 5 guiding principles based on which the NCF 2005 was prepared. The first one was connecting knowledge to outside world. So the knowledge is not only limited to a school or limited within the institution. So it should be related to the real world, outside world, to which the student is going to connect later on. The focus was to be shifted from rote learning. This the schools were preparing students who were only prepared for the exams, and they have to go through the questions and learn by heart those question and answers. So only do the rote memorization and not take part in any kind of activity or not learn by doing. So this need to be shifted. Then enriching curriculum beyond textbooks. So teachers and the students believe that only textbooks are the source of knowledge during the school days, but it is not so. Other sources can also be utilized by the teachers. Other resources can be made available to the students. If there is a proper library in a school, then the students will also take interest in finding out more resources and taking interest in learning new things. Then the next principle was making evaluation, monitoring more flexible and integrated to classroom work. So the classroom work was only limited to, teaching the concept or the blackboard work or the giving of homework or checking of the correction of the homework in the classwork. But the evaluation part, the formative assessment as given by the continuous and comprehensive evaluation, the CCE, was need to be done regularly, monitored in flexible way, and it should be a part of the classroom work, not at the should be done at the end of the curriculum is completed. So it should be a part of the classroom work. Then the last principle was nurturing and overriding identity informed by caring concerns within democratic polity of the country. So this was very much important consideration taken by the NCF, that all the democratic principles which were given by the Constitution and our preamble need to be followed, need to be included and inculcated in the curriculum which has to be proposed. Then the next part was the learning and knowledge. So how the learning takes place, how the knowledge is important. So learners, we know that child's voice, experiences and interest have a say in classroom proceedings. It is not only the teacher who has to do all the work. Their efforts need to be done for the students. So the students' voice, their experiences and interests need to be taken care of, and the classroom proceedings should be taking place in considering their interest and their demands. So it should be a holistic curriculum. It should be including knowledge and participation as well by the students. So for this we have to prepare various kind of activities to be activities to be taken in done carried out in the while teaching in the class. And the student should be motivated from inside. So they should have inherent motivation to know, to understand, to apply, and for higher cognitive abilities, not just for rote memorization but for higher cognitive abilities. So use variety of ways and means to teach as they learn in variety of ways. So the teachers of today need to understand that their learners are not the previous kind of learners who will just understand whatever you teach them. So they also learn in variety of ways. They can also make utilization of variety of ways. If a teacher tries to find inculcate more kind of teaching strategies, methods, or do some kind of innovative work in the class, so they should also bring changes while teaching, because the learners which they are teaching are also proceeding towards the 21st century, and they also want to learn in a variety of ways. Then the experiences should be attained from inside as well as outside school. So it is not always the inside the school the student will learn everything. So they should be related with the other things which are outside. So for this they should be communicated with the community outside. They should be related with the community outside. So various activities could have taken place regarding joining them with the community which is working outside. We can call community in our schools, or we can go to community in through various kinds of activities. Engage the child in concept generation for deeper learning and longer retention. This is very much important. We don't want them to just understand, do the rote memorization, and after some time they forget everything. So we want them to understand the things deeply and go for longer retention of the concepts. Then allow constructivism to operate in the class. So this is very important, as this NCF was based on the theory of constructivism. So it should be followed in every aspect of the classroom. The teachers should prepare lesson plans, deliver lesson plans in such a way that constructivism is developed in our students. Interactions are the most effective tool of learning. So the teacher should not only go and just deliver the lecture in the class and just try to give knowledge in the class, but also they need to give students the chance to interact with each other and also with the teacher. So it should be used as an effective tool of learning. Neither teacher and nor textbooks are authority to learning. So the students should not depend on teachers for everything, not depend on textbooks for everything. They are not only the authority for learning. There are various ways for which the students need to be taught, that they can go through those ways and they can learn on their own also. So there are various kind of experiences which they can take other than through teachers' knowledge or textbooks knowledge. Then learning experiences for competencies rather than measurable traits. So we need to inculcate various skills in our students. We need to make them competent rather than we just want to make them machines so that they develop such kind of traits among them. Ignore the stereotype regarding learning ability. So the whatever was a traditional method need to be changed. Use conflicts as opportunity to teach social concepts in true perspective. Knowledge be covered under different domains like cognitive, affective, and cognitive. Cognitive is the psychomotor domain. So we all know that Bloom's taxonomy has been divided in three domains of learning, like cognitive part, which depends on the knowledge part, the affective part, which depends on the behavior learning part, changes in behavior, emotions, and the psychomotor part, cognitive part, is dependent on the learning by doing concept. So these three domains should be covered under knowledge. Then objective and subjective knowledge are complementary. Associate child knowledge with the local knowledge. Associate school knowledge with the community knowledge. Knowledge should be started from integrated form to disciplinary form beyond the elementary stage. So regarding we should take care of all the stages at which we are teaching the students, and according to that we need to perform. Then we will discuss about the next aspect, which is the curricular areas. And first of all, we will discuss about the language part. So the primary language should be covered, the used should be home language, the mother tongue, and there should be a possibility of multilingualism in the classroom, because many students speak many languages in the classroom. So a teacher must be well versed at how to utilize that part, and how they can create a multilingual atmosphere in their classes. But the English language should be given importance also, because it is an international language, so it needs to be studied. And in English medium schools, Indian languages need to be given value, as other international languages were given value, like the French, German, or Spanish, but Indian languages were not given that much importance, like the Sanskrit language or the Hindi language. So performance should be assessed as language proficiency. So the four parts of language need to be considered: the reading, writing, listening, speaking. All parts should be considered, LSWR. And there should be considered for the proficiency in all these areas, if the student have achieved or not. So the teachers which are preparing the language part, or the language teachers, need to have high proficiency in that. They cannot teach in that way that the students learn in that manner only. So language skills cut across all subjects. So this is the basis of language across curriculum, in which we cannot say that it is only the responsibility of language teacher to consider about bring about language proficiency among the students, but also the responsibility of all subject teachers, whether it is the subject teacher of maths, science, social science. Language skills need to be developed in all subjects. So three language formula, which was earlier given by Kothari Commission, and earlier recommendations were given regarding that, it should be revitalized, and it has been given importance in present national education policy also, but still it has not been implemented at that level which was expected earlier. So now we will discuss about the next subject curricular area, that is mathematics. Students are afraid of mathematics. So attitude should be such that it should be key, learn to enjoy, and not fearful of this subject. So interdisciplinary manner, if is adopted while teaching mathematics, so it will become meaningful. Less stress on computation, use integrated approach between different branches of mathematics, and use variety of tools which are available for mathematics. Curriculum should progress from playway to abstract terminology, symbols, procedures, and techniques, and it should be taught at more than one levels. So this is how we can make the mathematics subject, which is dreadful for the students, to be interesting for them. Then if we talk about the computer science, so it should be ensured the availability and accessibility of both hardware and software. And if we talk about the science, it needs be true to the child, true to life, and true to science. So there should be various dimensions of validity which need to be considered while preparing science curriculum. That is the cognitive validity, content validity, process validity, historical validity, environmental validity, or ethical validity. So these all validities can be, studied in detail in the NCERT website. At the NCERT website, the details have been given there. Then science subject is should be used to eliminate social evils, superstitions, injustice, poverty, discrimination, and should highlight oneness of humanity. So science can also inculcate various values in our students, like industriousness, patience, intellectual honesty, and the like. And rote learning should be replaced by the experimentation, creativity, and heuristic method of self-discovery. Then science at school stages, we can say that at primary stage, it should nurture curiosity about the world around the world around the child. Then at upper primary, it should be learning principles of science through hands-on experiences and familiar observations. Then at secondary level, the experimentation as a tool to verify theoretical basis. Then at higher secondary stage, as separate discipline with emphasis on experimentation, technology usage to learn problem solving. Introduce optional science disciplines rather than adding more contents to the existing disciplines. So with this, we come to the end of the topic, that is the NCF 2005. And I hope you will be able to understand the important references or the recommendations which have been given in this. And it started with the Tagore's essay, and it really wanted independence of thought and action, sensitivity to others' well-beings and feelings, learning to respond to new situations in a flexible and creative manner. There should be predisposition towards participation in democratic process, and the ability to work towards and contribute to economic processes and social change. And for teaching to serve as a means of strengthening the democratic values, the democratic way of life, it must respond to the presence of first generation schoolgoers whose retention is imperative owing to the constitutional amendment that has made elementary education a fundamental right of every student. So the fact that learning has become a source of burden and stress on the children and their parents is an evidence of a deep distortion in the educational aims and quality. So to correct this distortion, the present NCF 2005 proposed various guiding principles for the curriculum development. So for details, you can go through these references, which are directly given on the Ministry of Education website. So you can go through the new education policy of 2020, and you will be able to differentiate between the NCF 2005 and the proposed NCF soon, which is coming out. And also you can go through the NCERT website, where you will be going through a detailed document regarding the NCF 2005. And for important features, you can go through the blog. And this is how you will be able to know that what kind of changes was brought about by NCF 2005. And the next part is the evaluation questions part. And question number 1 is, dash national focus groups were set up along with the National Steering Committee to review the National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2000. And the options are 2005, and the options are 21. So 21 national focus groups were set up because the earlier 2000 and NCF was to be reviewed regarding that, so that questions could be answered, that what changes are required in NCF 2005. So these national focus groups had various experts from various areas, and they worked on the areas for required now for the present situation. Next question is, in the quotation referred in NCF 2005, the author reminds us that dash are key in childhood, both of which can be distorted by an unthinking adult world. So what are the options? Options are troubling nature, creative spirit, generous joy, or both B and C above. So we can see that the two words were focused mainly as the Tagore's essay was quoted in the starting of the NCF 2005 document. And those two words were creative spirit and generous joy. Question number 3 is, the National Curriculum Framework 2005 opens with the quotation from Rabindranath Tagore's essay. What was the name of the essay? The options are Gitanjali, Gora, Civilization and Progress, The Perfect Child. And the answer is, the name of the essay was Civilization and Progress. Next question is, Dash was the chairperson of the National Steering Committee in respect of NCF 2005. The options are Professor Krishnakant, Shri Ashok Ganguly, Shri Ranglal Jamuda, or Professor Yashpal. So, Professor Yashpal, who was the ex-chairman of UGC, was the chairperson of the National Steering Committee, who was a head of the 21 national focus groups in respect of NCF 2005. The next question is, the National Steering Committee in respect of NCF 2005 consisted of dash members. So there were total, we can see through the options 21, 35, 53, 12, and the correct answer is 35 members in the National Steering Committee for NCF 2005. Next question is, according to NCF 2005, errors are important because they, options are an important tool in classifying students into groups of passed and failed, provide a way to the teachers to scold the children, provide an insight into the child's thinking and help to identify solutions, provide space for removing some children from the class. So the correct answer is, errors provide an insight into the child's thinking and helps to identify solutions, as NCF 2005 has discussed, that we need not to find the strengths through errors or evaluation part, but we need to find out the weaknesses also, so that these errors can be removed. Next question is, at the upper primary stage, according to NCF 2005, the content of social studies will draw its content from which of the following subjects? So the social studies students will be able to answer this better. The options are history, civics, and geography, history, geography, political science and economics, environmental science, history, civics, and geography, disaster management, history, political science, and values education. So we all know that the SST part, which is covered till 10th, have 4 subjects, including history, geography, political science, and economics. And at the upper secondary stage, the senior secondary level, these are further studied in detail separately. Question number 7 is, what is the nomenclature change suggested by the National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005 for civics? So for civics, the options are geography, history, social and political life, or economics. So it was recommended by NCF that social and political life, the name should be given to civics, or the political science should be a name given to the civics subject. Next question is, science we used to inculcate values like options are industriousness, patience, intellectual honesty, or all of the above. So all of the above is correct answer, because all these values can be inculcated with the help of right teaching of the science subject. The next question is, National Education Commission was formed in. National Education Commission was also known as Kothari Commission, and the options are 1964-66, 1972, 1986, or 1985. And the correct answer is 1964 to 66. At this time, National Education Commission was formed, and Kothari Commission is a benchmark for all other commissions and recommendations which are still being used by the other committees. The next question is, Learning Without Burden report was presented in. Options are 93, 99, 92, or 90. So the Learning Without Burden report was presented by Professor Yashpal in 1993. And with this, we come to the end of the topic for NCF 2005 today. And you can go through various websites given in references to find out more and in detail about the NCF 2005. So thank you very much, and I will see you in next class.